Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. Here we are again, week 15 coming at you. And what a crazy week 15 it is already, man. We're talking about some serious changes to every single lineup out there. Every single situation that's going on right there is we prepare so well for the playoffs. We do all these steps and we make all these moves and do all the right things. And it just goes to show you that fantasy football is such a fickle monster that what we do, it'll change on us in any given second, any given Sunday. And we have to be able to adapt. So that's what we're here to help you do. To me, we even called in a little bit of backup with the Frito Bandito coming at you. But let me introduce my guy above me first. I got Justin FF. How we doing, Justin? How we feeling today, my man?
Still quite a bit under the weather. My voice still isn't quite there, and I'm going to be struggling with some cough drops and whatnot. But I've been gone a week and a half, man. I couldn't take it anymore. So here we go.
Hell yes. No, I appreciate that, man. You were definitely missed. Everybody here is definitely could have used you last weekend for sure, but we're glad that you're hopefully looking on the up and up and not on the down and down. And hopefully we get you all figured out and get you all taken care of there. On my right is my man, Alex. Oh, what's happening, my man? How we doing this morning? Happy Sunday. Happy week 15.
Yeah, doing great. I'm trying to navigate all this, COVID postponements and, everything else. I threw some guys in some lineups that I probably wouldn't normally play just to make sure I got points, and they didn't do too well for me. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll all get through this together. Hopefully it doesn't ruin all my playoff hopes, but we'll get there.
Oh, it's so bad. I'm starting Boomer Esiason in the league right now just because, and hopefully he just gets off the announcer stage and helps me out a little bit with maybe like 5 points right there. And then back up, man, we got Frito Bandito. How we doing, Rich? How we doing this morning?
Love and life to the fullest. I'm great, guys. How you guys doing?
Doing fantastic. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, guys, and you know how to follow us. You know what to do. Do all the like, the subscribe, get on the Patreon, help Toilets to Titles out. Go on the website, toiletstotitles.com. I'm telling you, you're missing out if you haven't been paying attention. But you know what? For us, the season hasn't even really started. For us, our season really kicks off here in about 2 weeks because we got some of the best dynasty experts in the industry, guys that are going to be ready to help you get those teams from the toilet to those title towns. So let's go ahead and get this started, guys. First off, we got our man Chris's videos. He says Metcalf or Cooks today. And Justin, why don't you go ahead and lead us off on this one?
Shoot. So Metcalf or Brandon Cooks. So obviously I like Brandon Cooks a lot in certain situations, but I can't bench the explosiveness of DK Metcalf. You got to feel like it's going to come at any moment, right? So I think I'm going to stick with Metcalf in this situation.
I like it. How about you, Alex? Who we going with today?
Yeah, I think I agree with what Justin's saying. It's been hard for me to put Metcalf on the bench even when he was struggling there, when Russ came back from the finger injury. Houston is playing Jacksonville, and that's a pretty good matchup for them. And Davis Mills actually looked pretty good last week. But I don't think I can. I think I'm going to stick with Metcalf, especially because I know they postponed the game for Seattle, but Lockett has tested positive for COVID, so I don't know if he'll be back, especially if he's not back. But I mean, you're gonna have to make the decision today, so I'd probably still roll with Metcalf.
Absolutely. And Rich, what are you saying here, buddy? What do you think?
I think that was a great call by all y'all guys because Lockett is going to be out. I don't think he'll be able to get back in time, so they will funnel the ball to Metcalf. Today's a breakout game for him if Lockett doesn't play, I believe.
So I can tell you I'm the odd man out. I really feel like with Davis Mills in there, I really like Brandon Cooks. At this point forward, it seemed like those guys had a pretty decent connection going there, but not one to argue with the majority. And we got our man Joe Clark and the background over here saying the same thing too. So that's a 4-1 Metcalf. So good luck today, Chris's videos. We got Dilnai 23 says Ayuk, Van, or AJ Green today. And Alex, we're gonna go ahead and let you lead this one up.
Oh, this is a good one. Not one I thought I'd have to answer, going into the season. But I think with Hopkins going on the IR, AJ Green is going to be the main target there for the Cardinals now. So I think I'm going to go with AJ Green, as crazy as that sounds.
Okay, what about you, Rich? Who are we going with
Yeah,
right here?
AJ Green had a huge game last week. Was it last week we went over 100 yards? I mean, he had a great game last week, and Hopkins was in, and so he drew some of that coverage and everything. So Hopkins is going to be out. So even though with him being out, I think they feed him the ball. You know, you're going to have your other players step up too and everything. I think Edmonds is going to be back, so he'll get some of the underneath catches and everything. But I do like AJ Green. It's crazy that at this point of a season, after the couple years he's had, that we could be relying on him right now.
It certainly is. And Justin, are you on the AJ Green train yourself?
I am. I feel like because I think he had like seven or eight catches last week, like Rich said, but 4 of them were big time catches on that last drive when D-Hop wasn't there. So I feel like you're going to see a little bit of mix of both. Like it just depends on the matchups, and they're playing Detroit this week, if memory serves. If that's the case, then come on, I got to start AJ Green or really, Christian Kirk over this group at this point with that matchup. So.
And I absolutely agree. That's a consensus over here for the AJ Green train. I do like me some Van Jefferson this week, but not as much as Green with Hopkins out. Man, boy, that hurt with Hopkins. He also asked Sony Michel or Jeff Wilson this week, and I'll go ahead and lead this one off. I feel like Sony Michel has been looking pretty darn good in that offensive scheme right there. I think with Henderson out on the IR, I think this is a smash play on Sony Michel. Jeff Wilson is that guy that'll go in there and he'll like poach you 2 touchdowns. But I really am just kind of still on the fence about how I feel about where he is getting played. And it's really honestly, if Eli's out this week, I feel like they're probably going to lean more towards Deebo Samuel than they are Jeff Wilson anyway. So for me, it's Sony Michel, and it's not even really that close.
Just a note, Henderson is not on the IR. He was on the COVID. He was on the COVID list, but he got activated.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so that does sway me a little bit. That's my bad. I actually thought he was. I swore I saw he was on the inactive for today as well. So, but it still is Sony Michel. I think he's done enough to earn that volume. It's more of an I don't trust Jeff Wilson than anything.
No, I feel you on that. I think I'm going to go with Jeff Wilson, though, just because Henderson is back. I think, Michel did well when he had the volume. But if they're going to be splitting, and Henderson's going to have a little bit, fresher legs now that he's been sitting out a couple weeks, getting back from that quad injury. I think he's going to start taking the share of that backfield back. And Eli Mitchell has been declared out for today. So I know Deebo's been used in the backfield a lot when Mitchell's not there. Even when Mitchell's there, he's been, they've been using him in the backfield. But I still think Wilson is the volume play here for me.
Rich, what do you think?
Yeah, Wilson all day, man. Look, the beautiness about Deebo in the backfield is that they could use him back there with all the running backs that they got or so on. They could put anybody back there, but they use Deebo so well back there because they're not using him all the time. They'll put him back there, but not use him all the time. Wilson is going to have a good game today. Today I see him running for 100 yards and a touchdown.
Okay, and Justin, are you saying on the same bus? Are you saying Wilson as well?
I was already kind of leaning heavily towards Jeff Wilson, but after hearing how confident Rich is, damn, I want to go pick him up everywhere and start him right now.
Fair enough. So that's a 3-1 on Sony Michel sitting the bench on there. So hopefully we helped you out there. Dill Nye, I think. Oh, Dill Nye. No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
All right. Chris's videos also says Josh Jacobs, Michael Carter, or Chase Edmonds today. Rich, why don't you go ahead and lead us off on this one since you're the Raiders fan?
Josh Jacobs, Heimer. How's that go?
Jingleheimer Smith.
I was trying to get it figured out, damn it. Now, look, Edmonds is back, but look, that's Connor's backfield now. He has proven that he should be the starter. So Chase Edmonds is going to get sprinkled in. He'll have a decent game coming back. Look, Michael Carter's coming back too, first game back. Look, I like him a lot and everything, but I'm not going to rely on him in his first game back and everything. Who's been steady for all the teams out of these 3? Josh Jacobs, the last 2-3 games have been having some pretty decent games and everything, and they are playing against banged up, COVID stricken team, the Browns and everything. So Josh Jacobs all the way.
Man, the Browns are just decimated. I'm actually on the same exact page as you are right here, Rich. Josh Jacobs has been looking great. I do like Michael Carter today. I do like him as a volume play, but I just don't think we can ignore everything that's been happening with Josh Jacobs. And like you said, this is going to be a game where I feel like the Raiders are probably going to get up pretty quick. I mean, that team it's unfortunate, but they're decimated by injury. Alex, what are you thinking right here?
Yep. I'm with Josh Jacobs too. It's more just not trusting, guys coming right off the IR this year. Some of them come back in and it's perfectly fine and they get their full volume. But then a lot of times they're just getting, kind of worked in, over a couple of weeks and whatnot. So yeah, I'm going with Josh Jacobs here.
Let me
Justin, round us out.
Yeah, no, let me be the contrarian here. So here's the thing. If this were any other week, I 100% would agree with you guys. I am scared to death because of the rules, the NFL rules and all this COVID stuff, that because they pushed it back to Tuesday in hopes that Cleveland will have enough people to play. So let's say we go with Josh Jacobs and we find out Tuesday morning they aren't playing. Now you're screwed. I feel like I'm going to start Michael Carter in this situation just to get some guaranteed points because I know he has that workload ahead of him against a pretty poor Dolphins run defense. So kind of guaranteed points there. Chase Edmonds just coming back from his injury doesn't do it for me. But if it weren't for the COVID situation, I 100% would agree with Josh Jacobs. But on the same note, that COVID situation is also what makes Josh Jacobs seem so juicy right now.
You guys remember when the Broncos had to start their third string wide receiver as their quarterback just so they could keep the league going? I feel like it'll be an instance like that if we get to the situation where Cleveland can't play.
That was the biggest complaint the Raiders were making all week is, look, they already have enough players to play the game yesterday and everything. So this game is going to happen. Look, they only pushed it back just to see if they can't get some because of those false negatives and everything. They only pushed it back to see if there was any chance that they could get a few more players for the team. I think they were playing a little bit as far as favoritism to the Browns, if you ask me. I'm not saying I'm a homer for the Raiders, but I believe them 100%. They had enough players to make the game yesterday.
You can say that, Rich. We know you're a homer for the Raiders.
Not a homer at all.
I do agree with you, Rich. I do think they're going to play the game. I mean, it's the NFL. If they have the opportunity to not lose money, they're going to do it. Like, it's all about the money for them. Don't let them try to fool you with any fake COVID rules they try to make up at the last minute. But I'm just saying, like, I would absolutely hate to lose my fantasy.
Yeah, that would be terrible. So you're gonna have a bad time if that happens. Our man Joe Clark checking in,
and hopefully your league, you can do so. In a lot of mine, you can designate a backup in case the game is canceled. So hopefully you can designate Michael Carter as Josh Jacobs' backup. So in case the game is canceled, you still get the points. You know what I mean?
You can do that. Absolutely. Do that.
Yeah. I know that's what I did in all of my leagues. I made sure that there was a way to, get around all this COVID crap.
I didn't because I like to see people get pissed.
I'm that commissioner. Oh, we got Dirty Money saying pick one: McLaurin, Lazard, Thielen, or Schultz today. Ooh. Justin, why don't you lead us off on this one?
I don't trust that Thielen injury. I don't trust the Lazard inconsistency. I'm gonna start the wide receiver over the tight end. I don't even know who Washington's playing today. Actually, I do because they were on my weather report. Washington is going to have the windiest game against the Eagles this week, up to 18-mile-per-hour winds. That's still not aggressively bad. That's all right. But he's got a backup to the backup quarterback. But I think I still have to go with McLaurin here. At the end, I'm going to go with talent.
Yeah, well, that's another one of those games that got pushed to Tuesday. So if you can designate someone, maybe designate someone else. Because I would have to go with McLaurin too, because I don't trust those other options either.
Yeah. If not, I'm leaning Lazard.
Yeah, I guess you'd go with Lazard if McLaurin, if that game doesn't go. But yeah, I'd have to go with McLaurin out of these options.
And what about you, Rich? Staying McLaurin as well? And I'm also on the McLaurin bus. I feel like he's should be at least halfway decent. You know, it doesn't really matter. He's one of those guys who doesn't really matter who his quarterback is, although it hasn't really looked like it a lot this season. I feel like this is a pretty plus matchup for him this week. We got Nick Hobie says, Sony Michel, Aaron Jones, or Jeff Wilson. Michelle Henderson split is unclear in a Tuesday night game.
I'll start this one.
Yep, there you go.
There you go, Patrick.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just a Aaron Jones is above, far and above the best talent here. Even though they've been kind of splitting touches with Dylan. Dylan's been doing all the between the 20s work, and as soon as they get down to that red zone, Aaron Jones is back in there and scoring the touchdown. So I think his touchdown upside is too much to keep him on the bench.
Are you guys crazy? Did you guys not see Aaron Jones' game last week when Dylan was in there too? Freaking had a huge game and everything. So it doesn't change anything. Just like Alex said, look, head and shoulders above the other guys and everything. No doubt you should be starting Aaron Jones.
Yep, you start your studs in any of your given instances, and that's I see Justin nodding as well. That's a 4-pack for Aaron Jones, hands down. We got Joe Clark. He says Gronk or Knox today.
I'm gonna have
Gronk.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with Gronk too. As much as I like Knox and they both have really good touchdown upside. But I think I'd have to go with Gronk. He's just been a monster when he's in there. Knox has a down week here and there. Because they've got a lot of options in that passing game. But I mean, so does Tampa Bay. But Brady and Gronk have that connection, man.
Yeah, when Knox has one of those monster games, it's still kind of just like a regular Gronk game.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Yep, that's a 4-pack for Gronk there as well, man. I love Gronk. It's awesome to see him back to his old self, back to his old ways, and him and Tom Brady just making it look like it's as easy as it was 10 years ago. It's insane. We got Anthony Ruffin says Mixon versus Mike Evans PPR and Tua versus Jimmy G with Lamar out. Let's start with the Mixon versus Mike Evans. Who we playing today there, Justin?
I mean, am I missing something? Mixon's not hurt or anything again, is he? Yeah. So I definitely want to go with the running back there, even in the full PPR, because Mixon still gets a solid heavy dose out of the backfield in receptions too. Anytime you can get a running back that's also getting targets, he's always going to be better than a wide receiver. And so we got Tua and Jimmy G with Lamar out. I actually like the Jimmy G matchup this week against the Falcons. So as dirty as it sounds to come off my tongue, I think I'm going to start Jimmy G in this situation. And don't get me wrong, Tua has a great matchup too, but I just think that game could be a lot more run heavy.
There you go. Alex, what are you thinking here?
Yeah, definitely Mixon for me, especially since Mike Evans is going to be shadowed by Lattimore today in New Orleans, and they have they've had years and years. Yeah, they've had years and years to play each other, and I think Lattimore definitely comes out on top in this matchup over the last 5 years or so. So it's definitely Mixon for me, and then I'm gonna go with Tua because they're playing the Jets. I think that's all I really need to say about that.
I like it. Rich, what are you saying here, bud?
Yeah, I'm going Mixon and Tua. Look, the last game Tampa played against the Saints, Evans had a huge game against Lattimore, but I like Mixon in this matchup. Now, Lattimore has owned Mike Evans, but if you go back and look at this, I think Evans had 2 touchdowns the last game this year. So,
actually, no. I'm looking at it. Evans had 2 catches for 48 yards, but one was a touchdown.
Okay, maybe I could have swore I thought he had a huge game. So Lattimore, hands down, has been owning him. I thought he had a huge game.
I remember that game. He did have a second touchdown that was called back because of offensive pass interference on Mike Evans.
Well, see, you got to understand. I get distracted. I see red zone. I see 2 touchdowns, and then they go straight to Raiders and everything. So I get a little distracted and everything. So
there aren't any touchdowns.
Mixon and Tua for me. I like Tua. Look, they've been on a roll. Look. After all this talk about Tua not being the guy and everything, look, he's come in and had some great games and everything the last 3-4 games. I think they're on a roll and have a good chance of being in the playoffs. So I like Mixon and Tua.
And I agree. I like Mixon and Tua here as well. I think Tua has exactly like what you said. I mean, now he hasn't been doing these lights out number games or anything like that, and they are going to be out Jalen Waddle today. So I really do like him, and I really actually have a high tick on Jazeki as well. I think that those guys are going to combine for a pretty good day, and I also even like a little bit of an uptick on Devontae Parker as well. So give me some Tua and Mixon. They're running everything through that. Justin's going to hammer down a point.
No, I was just going to say Tua just played the Jets about 5 weeks ago, and he had let's see, it would be 2 touchdown passes. So in I'm not looking at a typical league here. So I can take away 4 points. So that would be 17 and a half points. So not a bad outing. The one thing I noticed is he only had 6 yards rushing. Ever since that Buffalo game in week 8, he's not been running the ball like he typically does. But he's still getting you a solid number of fantasy points. So even though I chose Jimmy G, like I have no problem with starting Tua as well. So
I just can't start Jimmy G, man. I hate Jimmy G.
Yeah, I don't know. Call it a gut feeling. I just really like this matchup against Atlanta today, and it's with the running with Mitchell being hurt, and I don't know. I think that they're going to throw the ball a lot more than they typically do.
Absolutely. Hey, we got I'm Merciful saying, should they start Foreman or Fournette today? Richard, why don't you lead us off on this one? The Frito Bandito says
Foreman has been having some great games, but I'm still starting Fournette.
Yep. There you go.
Too consistent.
Yeah.
Alex, do you have an argument here?
No. Except that Fournette has incredible touchdown upside, so it'd be very hard for me to bench him for pretty much anybody.
He's been smashing on that team, and yeah, it's exactly it. I just can't bench Fournette. I really think Foreman's a very solid start today as well, but I cannot bench Fournette the way he's been playing. We got ED Infamous coming back. What's happening, man? We got sit 1 PPR, Debo, Deontay, or Lamb. I was like Lambva, but that's because I'm Ron Burgundy. Lamb, seeding Lamb.
Ooh, this is a good one. This is a tough one. I think with Mitchell out, Debo's got to be in for me. So it's going to be between Deontay and Lamb, and that's a tough call. But I think I'm going to have to go with Lamb. Yeah. I as much as I love Deontay Johnson, he is my bae, but
So you're
Lamb
benching Johnson.
Yeah, benching
Okay.
Johnson. Yeah. I'd have to play Debo and Lamb.
Yeah, me too, but mostly because of how much I thoroughly enjoy watching Lamb play football.
Are you on the same page there, Rich? Yep. So I really like Deontay Johnson over Lamb. I feel like Deontay Johnson's been getting that huge target share. We are definitely in consensus that we are not sitting Debo. I think Debo is my wide receiver 1 this week just because, again, with Eli Mitchell out, I can really see him coming out of that backfield. I'm wondering if we're going to get a little designation change here soon on that guy before the next season. If he keeps running the ball out of the backfield, you got to give him the same consideration you're at least kind of giving Cordarrelle Patterson, in my opinion. Joe Clark says, choose 2, Deontay Johnson, Lamb, or OBJ.
See, now in this one, it's going to be Johnson and Lamb for me. As much as OBJ seems to be working himself into that offense, I still think Johnson and Lamb have they're far and above, volume wise and talent wise, because OBJ is just not quite the same player he used to be. That one great season he had, so it's going to be Deontay and Lamb for me.
Yep, I actually agree with that. I like as much as I like OBJ, the Rams are rot with COVID and drenched with COVID. So I'm out on anything basically there that isn't Cooper Kupp this week as far as anything goes. And that's even kind of scary to me because, like you said, this game could get canceled at any given time. Rich, Justin, what do you guys got here? Same thing?
Yeah, I agree with Alex.
Yep, same thing.
Excellent. Ed, we got you, man. We love helping you out each week. Hopefully we get yourself we get to see you next week because it means we've pushed on to the next round. We got at Bushmush. He says Mooney, MVS, Cooks, Gabe Davis, and Godwin are his guys. Godwin is a lock. Please pick 2 others. PPR.
Why you got the giggles up there? Bushmush? Is that what?
Christmas.
I love it. All right. Let me read the question again.
So while he's reading, I'm gonna go Mooney and Cooks. Look, Mooney's been having a solid string of games. Few huge games, but he's been a solid, consistent play for Fields and everything. And like I said, out of the other guys, look, Gabe Davis has been coming on too, but I like Cooks a little bit better.
Excellent. Alex, what do you got to say there?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with. I like Cooks. I'm with you on that one. But I think I'm gonna go Gabe Davis here. With Emmanuel Sanders with the knee injury, Gabe is gonna see the field more. He was already the last couple weeks, seeing a little bit more attention, and they love him in the red zone. So I think he's got a higher, a higher touchdown upside. And with Mooney, they got rid of Brashad Breeland, so the secondary in Minnesota is probably going to be better now because Breeland was not playing well at all. And then he got, thrown off the team this week. So I could see that, shaping up a little bit better. So it's going to be Cooks and Gabe Davis for me.
For what it's worth, I absolutely love the fact that you have Godwin here because he, he's going to go crazy. Just like Alex said earlier with Lattimore, shadowing Evans, you've got the opportunity for him to go up against all the other scabs that are out there in that secondary, and he blew them up earlier in the season for like 100 and actually I have it pulled up right now. It was 140 yards on 8 catches with a touchdown on 12 targets, absolute monster. So what that does for you is it kind of helps give you that ability to lean more towards the upside. In my mind, out of this group, the touchdown upside is probably going to go to Cooks with that matchup. So Cooks, in my mind, is that speedy guy down the field. Maybe Davis, but I just think that Buffalo game is going to be pretty run heavy. So that's why I want to lean a little bit more towards Cooks for me.
Well, you need to.
Okay, then Davis. Sounds good.
There we go.
Yep, and I'm actually on Mooney Cooks as well. I think Cooks gets a pretty good game today, but I do think Davis is a solid shot. I think Davis is a solid play too. So I would definitely not argue that take there as well. And we got Jacob Anders says Dak, Stafford, or Taysom Hill.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Man. Whew. So I'm guessing we only need one here. So this is an incredible stack here because obviously Taysom is the worst quarterback out of this group, but he gets so many fantasy points.
Yeah, but see, Justin, what I'm reading on this thing, it says Dak, Stafford, or fantasy QB stud Taysom Hill.
Exactly.
That's what I'm reading.
Exactly.
Because that's what this is. It's a fantasy question.
Oh, man. You know what? Hold on. Let me look some stuff up. I'm not going to go first on this one.
I'm going Taysom Hill because all I see is fantasy stud QB put up points.
Yeah. Stafford with all the COVID and whatnot there, it could go any way in that game. So that one kind of scares me. And they just haven't been as good lately. And Dak, they're only playing the Giants. So, if they get up fast enough, they won't have to throw the ball too much. So I think I'm going to go Hill as well. That rushing upside, he could go for anywhere between 50 and 100 yards. And that's huge, and maybe a couple rushing TDs, maybe a throwing TD here. So I think I'm leaning Hill as well.
Yep. That's enough to convince me. I'll do it.
Yep. I like the take. I do kind of get a little bit nervous about playing the Buccaneers, that's for sure. But Taysom Hill's been finding a way to get it done each and every game. So until he stops doing that, I got to get him out there. He got me to the playoffs. I hope he gets me through the playoffs. He also asked OBJ, Osborne, and DJ Moore. He needs 2. So who are we benching out of this group, guys?
Dang, as tough as this to say, I'm benching Moore.
Yeah, I was going to say the exact same thing. That Buffalo matchup, and it is still going to be a little windy up there, which it's not going to be windy enough to really make that big of a difference, 10 to 15 mile per hour winds, but that might be enough to make a difference with Cam Newton. And then, I mean, he's already kind of a borderline startable player as it is. He throwing a little wind up there in Buffalo and against that tough Buffalo secondary. There's a lot of tiebreakers here that are leaning against DJ Moore for me.
Yeah, no, I'm with you guys. I'd probably sit DJ Moore. But if you can he'd be my designation in case OBJ, that game gets canceled or whatever. I guess you'd have to. But I don't want to play him.
Yeah, nope, that's exactly what it is. I mean, it's DJ Moore for me as well. The guy that I'm sitting here, and it sucks saying that, but I like Cam Newton. I like Cam Newton in a negative matchup. I like, but just not in a positive matchup. Like, he's looking up against the top 10 defense. And I mean, we've had a very, very small sample size of what we've seen out of Cam Newton, but he has had a couple of good games against really crappy defenses. And when you face him with a decent defense, man, you see that Cam Newton should maybe have a cane or a rascal possibly before he's playing football again. So for me,
just have someone else throw the ball for him, because I think that's the big thing. He just can't.
Like, he cocks back, and then somebody runs out off the sideline, comes in and completes the pass, runs off, and then Cam Newton I love it. I love it. Do it like Babe Ruth used to do it. I think Cam Newton deserves it.
Right. But I don't know why, but for some reason I keep forgetting that this Rams game is Tuesday night and could be canceled, but yet I'm so excited to see the Raiders game get canceled. What's wrong with that? Well, I wonder why that is.
Yeah, it's the Raiders.
Can I take him off stream? Oh, I can.
Oh, there he goes. There he goes. Benched. We got him benched. Woody the Badger says Taysom Hill or Hurts.
This is going to be Taysom Hill for me. Hurts with that high ankle sprain scares the hell out of me, because his only fantasy value, was coming from, his rushing. A little bit of fourth quarter garbage time, passing, but for the most part, all of his fantasy values come from his legs, and if he can't use them, I don't know what's going to come of that. So I'm going with Taysom Hill.
Yep, I agree. I think the one thing that I agree that worries me here is that Hurts might not even play this week, and if he does play, and it is looking like he is playing, and every indication that he is playing, but I just don't think that you're going to get that impactful Hurts that we've been seeing all season. I think we're going to see a nervous or maybe kind of a devoid Hurts back there, where he's not going to be able to play his full game. He's going to have to be dancing in and out and everything like that, and probably playing a little bit more pocket football. So again, leaning Hill. It's weird to say that we're playing this guy over a lot of people, but Taysom Hill for me too. Yeah,
Taysom Hurts, I apologize, could come in this game and not look good, and without an instance, they could pull him and put in Minshew Mania. So it's scary for the rest of the season if that happens,
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah, Hurts is not comfortable in the pocket, and that's where he's going to have to stay. And I don't think it's going to be very good.
It hurts me to say Hill.
Especially against the Washington team that's been actually playing a little bit better defense there. Steel City PAA. I just see that guy calling me an ass right now. Noah Fant or Dalton Schultz? Who we got going?
You mean dumbass?
Dumbass. Yeah, there you go.
Give me let me look at the matchup real quick.
I like Noah Fant a lot. I feel like Teddy Bridgewater is going to be able to do a little bit of carving just to get things started against the Cincinnati Bengals. I think the Bengals are good enough that they will be able to put pressure against that Broncos defense a little bit. So for me, give me Cincinnati, or give me a game against Cincinnati. Give me Noah Fant right here.
Yeah, and Teddy Bridgewater is part of the reason why those tight ends are starting to excel so much in Denver. So it's just the lack of ability to get it very far down the field. So I'll take Noah Fant too.
I'm gonna go the other way on this one. I'm gonna go with Dalton Schultz. Because they're not gonna have to be, the Cowboys probably aren't gonna have to put up too much of a fight against these Giants. That's when Dalton Schultz seems to come through. So I think that's where. And Albert O in Denver there is starting to come on a little bit and take some of that work from Noah Fant too. So that kind of scares me. And there's just not a lot of, passing volume to go around. So, for all we know, the 7 good passes that Teddy Bridgewater throws today could go to the wide receivers, could go to Albert O. I
could go to the running backs.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with Dalton Schultz here.
Yeah, I hated that he took Dalton Schultz, because now we're going to do a tie, because I agree with Dalton Schultz. I think he's going to be the with all the options that they have in Dallas, he always stands out and getting open and always has these upside plays and everything. I love him, Dalton Schultz, and Noah Fant. Just like what he said, Albert O has been coming on and everything, and they ain't a true passing game and everything. So passing team. So I like Dalton Schultz.
Okay,
so that's a tiebreaker. I'm sorry.
Tiebreaker right there. I'm good with either one of these guys, but I do feel like I do agree with what you're saying about Albert O. I'll just go ahead and change mine to Dalton Schultz so we can go 3-1 there. Update: we got Justin with the Dr. Pepper sponsorship update.
Yeah, so I missed last week, but I promised you guys 2 weeks ago when we had the viewer on YouTube comment about the Dr. Pepper that I promised you guys that I would reach out to Dr. Pepper for a sponsorship update or for a sponsorship request. And I do have an update. They did email me back, and they said that they were forwarding the email to their marketing department. And like I sent it Sunday after the show, they sent me that back Monday morning. So that was nearly 2 weeks ago, and I haven't heard from them.
Well, they're probably really going through their numbers and everything like that, making sure that they're good with it. And I mean, just for that reason, I'm not going to drink Dr. Pepper. I'm drinking borscht. For my Ukrainian friends over there, we're going to drink borscht instead of Dr. Pepper today. We got Steel City PAA. He says, should he play Matt Stafford or look for another quarterback because the game may be canceled?
So I think this comes down to if your league lets you set a backup, maybe go find one on the waiver wire and play Stafford and designate him as backup. But if not, I don't know what you do, because we hope that the game gets played, and you want Stafford in there in your lineup, especially in the first week of playoffs. But I don't know what else you would do. Hopefully your league isn't one of Justin's, where he wants to see you all writhe in pain.
That's good.
I think
for me, I'm good. I'm not worried about us missing this football game. I understand the hesitation and the speculation, but this would cause such a logistics nightmare. I mean, a lot of these are playoff ready teams. A lot of these teams are competing for a shot at the playoffs. They're going to have to play football. They're going to make it happen one way or the other. Like I said, just remember when they made that poor wide receiver be a Bronco quarterback for a day. I mean, that was just devastating results. We can't argue the fact that did not work out. And that probably, now we're talking about the Broncos, who weren't even a competitive team, right? Like, it wasn't like they were going to go on to win the Super Bowl that year or any of the next few years if we don't get a quarterback. But I just, like I said, I feel like this game's going to happen. I'm okay with rocking Stafford out.
Yeah, I think in this situation, like, Matthew Stafford is a top 5 fantasy quarterback. And I believe, if I remember right, he's only had 2 weeks where he didn't finish as a top 12 fantasy quarterback.
Correct.
So if that's the case, if that's the situation, you're probably in the playoffs because of him to begin with. So like I said, I'm pretty confident that all these Monday and Tuesday later games that got pushed back are going to happen because the NFL wants their money. So it kind of depends on how bad you need those points. Most likely you need them, though, because you've been relying on them. And any other guy that's out there on the free agent market, it's going to have to be somebody pretty good with a damn good matchup to entice me to not take that risk. I think that's a risk worth taking. So keep Stafford.
And let's just hope you have backups, too. I mean, just on the off chance that this does happen, I feel like you should be owed at least that. Making your team making it to the playoffs, it's really not fair to not be able to get that done. But we'll move on. We got Ryan Evans. He says pick one. Russell Gage, Osborne, or Devontae Freeman, half PPR.
Osborne for me.
Osborne?
Yeah, Osborne for me, because I mean, from what I'm hearing, Thielen still hasn't really practiced hardly at all. I don't think he's going to play. Even if he does, he's a decoy. Osborne is filled in very nicely.
Yeah, see, for me, I think Devonta Freeman is close enough to that level with those wide receivers where I'd want to, go with the running back over the wide receivers. But Lamar Jackson doesn't look like he's going to play. So I don't know what that does to the run game. I mean, it actually kind of gave that offense with what's his name, Huntley. It kind of gave that offense a little, gave a little pep in their step last week, at least a passing offense. But I still think I'm going to have to go Devonta Freeman. He's been, as much as I think he's washed, he's still getting work and getting touchdowns. So I like the floor of Devonta Freeman here. I think that's who I'm going to have to go with.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. I like Devonta Freeman. He's been getting it done. I mean, it's been ugly, but he's been getting it done one way or the other. And again, I actually feel like he gets an uptick having Lamar Jackson not in there to steal, especially like when we're talking about red zone touches within 5 yards, 2 yards, 3 yards, etc. So give me Devonta Freeman here for the volume play. What are you thinking here, Rich?
Yeah, I like Devonta Freeman because I feel like I want someone to slap me every time I try to check mark Russell Gage to start in my lineup and everything, because of the fact that every time I do, he throws up a fat donut and everything. So, and Osborne, I would be playing Osborne if I knew Thielen wasn't playing. I would be taking him, obviously. But look, Devonta Freeman has been sneaky good for the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Yep, at least with the volume play, it's been enough. So that's where we're at with that. We got Edie Infamous back again saying pick one PPR, Gaskin or Dillon. I shouldn't even have to answer this. Hashtag what?
Never Gaskin.
Never Gaskin. It's never Gaskin. Always whoever else we're playing.
But if you're gonna start him, this is the week to do it. I mean, my God, like
Justin, did you not hear hashtag never Gaskin?
Right.
I guess I get that, like, because 98% of the time you're right on that, but I mean it's the Jets, and he did get 89 yards and a receiving touchdown the last time he played them just a few weeks ago. Like, that's a tough one to. And with Dillon still splitting the load with Aaron Jones, and as long as Jones is there, like Alex said earlier, Dillon's touchdown upside is a little bit down because the red zone goes to Jones. Hey, you know what? I'll be the contrarian here just to balance it out a little bit, but I'm gonna go with Gaskin this week.
As much as I believe in our hashtag never Gaskin, I think I'm going to go Gaskin here because of the matchup. It's pure matchup for me. And like Justin was saying with what I was saying earlier with the Dillon, Jones split, Gaskin, they use him in that wildcat on the goal line, and the Jets run defense is probably the worst in the league. And I think he's got the higher touchdown upside today. So once in a while, Gaskin. Hashtag once in a while, Gaskin.
Almost never.
Yeah, almost never, Gaskin.
And this is the problem right here.
Yeah, well, it's like every other week, and then you. But yeah, no, I think I'd roll with Gaskin today, as much as I don't like him. But
I was gonna say the same thing. Go Gaskin.
So you're on an island, bud.
Yeah. Look, I'm hoping for Dillon. I would say Dillon as far as because I have him and I need him to produce something. But look, this is going to be the only time. Aaron Jones had a huge game last week and everything, and I think he had like 20-something points in the league I have, and I have Dillon in another one, and he only gave me 7 points. Look, Gaskin is the play this week. Any other week is hashtag never Gaskin. This week it's almost never Gaskin.
Almost never Gaskin wins the 3-way vote. We got Trey S says, morning gents, we need upside. He went against Mahomes and Kelsey. Yikes. We got Russell, Burrow, or Taysom today. And I mean, if we're talking upside, I'm playing Taysom. Where are you guys at on that one?
Yeah.
Taysom.
I am so sorry, dude.
Yeah, cool. That's a rough start, man.
Yeah, but it's fantasy, man, dude. Anything can happen. Anything at all. So
I almost would rather be the guy that's going up against the kind of numbers on those, because it feels like it's like that guy gets so confident on his Thursday play that he doesn't really think about anything else. They sometimes start inactive players and things like that, especially with the situation being what it is. That could be a huge benefit for you in the long run. So Definitely rock out Taysom. Don't worry about it. There ain't nothing you can do about the points against you already. All that we can do is try to go get the most maximized points that we can
I love
get
how you
right
tried
there.
to make them feel better, dude. Nobody wants to go up against those Thursday points.
Right.
I just wouldn't look at the matchup. I would just put Taysom in, put my guys in, and never look at it again until Monday night or Wednesday night or whenever all these games will be done.
Right. Thursday morning or Christmas Day, whatever.
Wait for the group chat to blow up. Did you see that comeback?
We got Bruce Stark says 12 team full PPR, 4 spots anyway. 2 running back and 2 flex. Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, Henderson, Jamal Williams, Dante Foreman, Cole Beasley, Bateman. Should we just go all running backs here, guys?
Well, definitely Aaron Jones, definitely Henderson.
Definitely Foreman for me too.
And I'd probably go Dillon as the 4th. I'm with you on the other 3.
I don't think Jamal Williams is playing, if I'm correct. I might be wrong on that, but I don't think he's playing.
Yeah, last I saw he was still out, but I believe it was a COVID list, so who knows. So for me, it's down to AJ Dillon or AJ Dillon or Bateman, and I think I'm going to lean Bateman as my 4th. Even because just like Alex said, Hundley brought a little extra to Bateman at the end of that game. He was tearing it up. He did really well actually throughout the game. So Bateman's
I'm a big Bateman guy. I've always been a big Bateman believer. I'm with you there. Bateman is my 4th over Dillon as well.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I honestly didn't look at the wide receivers, I don't think, before I said anything. So, yeah, I'm with you. Aaron Jones, Henderson, Foreman, and Bateman.
Yeah, I can get with that.
Yeah, I could get with that too. I kind of like the fact on this situation. It really depends on how your team is going and who you're playing against. Sometimes I like that opportunity of having 2 running backs from the same team. That way you get any of the rushing TDs or yardage that goes in that game, and they should have a decent game and everything. Because look, I don't see Rodgers is his foot's banged up and everything, so he ain't going to be very mobile and everything as far as trying to roll out of the pocket or anything like that. So I think this is going to be more of a heavy running game with it being towards the end of the game and everything. But I will go with you guys on Bateman, but I do like that Dillon factor if I knew my team could support it against who I'm playing.
Absolutely can understand that play too as well. And he says, thanks, guys. We got you, Bruce. Make sure you show up next week after you win this week. We'll be here. We'll be ready to help you out. We're here every single Sunday. We got at Gognet says, Judy, Dillon, Hubbard, Penny, Flex, PPR picks 1. Who are we going with today, boys?
It's going to be Penny for me. He showed up last week. I know they're going against the Rams, and their run defense is a little bit better than whoever they played last week. I forget even who they played.
Houston,
yeah. So definitely better than Houston's run defense, but he definitely showed why he was a first-round pick last week. So it's going to be Penny for me.
I think I'm going Penny too. Judy, I don't know what the deal with him. He's just not panning out. He's a Broncos
wide receiver.
Yeah, well, I'll give you that. He just is not panning out what we thought he would be doing this season. Dillon, I like Dillon, but like I said, Aaron Jones is going to get the majority. Hubbard is the main starter there, but I do like Penny.
And then Hubbard has that tough matchup against Buffalo too. So I'm agreeing with you guys. And also, we have like 6 or 8 new subscribers out there today. So I know Mike has been working hard this morning to try to get some of these new guys in here. And I see a lot of new names in the chat. So I just want to take a minute to thank you guys. We really appreciate you tuning in, and go check out all the other shows that we offer on Toilets and Titles on our YouTube channel, man. We've got all kinds of stuff out there. We got Rich is on like a couple times a week. We've got Joe on there 2 or 3 times a week. We've got, all of us are out there. So we appreciate
Down Under Dynasty.
Alert to deuces.
Yep. Dollars to deuces. Like I said, and Down Under, you got to get those guys. They're awesome. They are amazing.
We have a Christmas movie draft on Monday.
Yes,
don't forget about that.
Tomorrow night. I'm so pumped about that, guys. I've been looking forward to this for so long, and then when I got sick and overwhelmed at work, it's like I didn't think it was going to happen, but we're throwing it together. And I've sent out invites to so many actors.
Chevy Chase.
Yeah, Chevy Chase. I sent him. His DMs are open, y'all. You should blow him up. Tell him to accept my invite. But like all kinds of different actors, not a damn one of them have responded. But if they do, it's going to be incredible.
We will light that up. Moving on, we got at Jason Fiquete. He says, I need some fantasy football help at running back too. Battling through injuries in the first round of the playoffs. Jeff Wilson, Rashad Penny. And for me, it's Penny, not even close. I like Wilson, but I don't like him as much as I like Penny.
Yep. Well, Penny for me too.
Penny makes sense.
Man, I am so high on Wilson this week, and it's very hard for me to pick him over Penny. I'm going to go with you guys on Penny and everything, but I am high on Jeff Wilson this week.
I mean, you don't have to agree with us.
I know, but
Penny, you can be your own person.
Penny is a good play. He's a great play because I am starting him in a few lineups and everything. But I love Jeff Wilson, and I could see him having a better game because Rashad Penny had the huge game last week. I could see a step back this week.
In fact, I like it when you don't agree with us because you kick my ass in almost every single league we ever play in. So
Jeff Wilson, then.
I like this.
Rich getting in there saying Jeff Wilson. We got Leisure Suit. Liam says James Conner or OBJ this week. And I just got to say really quick, I'm a huge Leisure Suit Larry fan. I used to love that video game. That was one of my favorites of all time. And James Conner, it's not even close. Like,
what that guy said.
Yep, everybody's agreeing with that. Yeah, James Conner's just been a stud. He's been the stud of that Arizona offense. Yes, we have Chase Edmonds back, but I mean that doesn't stop me at all. I don't think he'll be eating into enough of that volume for me to even kind of worry about that. Not even slightly.
He was doing it when Edmonds was healthy earlier in the season. That's when he started getting all the touchdowns, and then he just kept it rolling once Edmonds was out. And I don't think it's going to change now that he's back.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and excluding what is always the coaches always say, you always roll with the hot hand, except Colts. They for some reason they never do that, but they're starting to get along, getting towards that, going with the hot hand. And who has the hot hand? Any hotter hand than Jonathan Taylor is James Conner.
Yeah, no, even with that hot hand, they still totally abandoned him in the third freaking quarter to make that game more interesting than it should have been. But anyway, that's a horse of a different color. But
it was funny because I actually had that analysis on point because I said we're going to see him probably get kept out of the end zone tonight. We're going to probably see him get maybe 60 to 80 yards and, get 6 to 8 points. And that's all we got to really worry about out of him. And then he busted that damn 70-yarder for a touchdown and made me so wrong. It hurt. Yeah. But I'm telling you, you take away that one play right there. And I was right for 48 minutes of that game last night, but just goes to show you fantasy football.
Hey, if you guys are really interested in Colts talk on Colts during the Colts game, follow my my Twitter handle down there at JustinFF_ when it pops back up because I was dead on every single time. Like I was posting before halftime, at halftime, after halftime. I knew exactly what they were going to do. Frank Reich is the most predictable coach in the NFL, and the other teams know it. And they could do so much better if they would just dice it up a little bit.
Just a tiny bit. Yeah, they looked really, really bad. It was unfortunate. But they still got it done at least. So there was that. At Chris Cooper CPT says, Gage, Smith, Pollard, or Bateman for their flex today?
Ooh. Well, I think Pollard's out for me.
Because I think he's hurt and he might not play. So,
well, I think right now he's on track to play, but I don't think he's going to get. He tore his plantar fasciitis. That's a pretty serious injury. I don't even know why they're considering having him come back already. Probably because Zeke looks like garbage, but.
I tore my plantar fasciitis 3 years ago, and to this day it still bothers me some. And I'm almost as premier of an athlete as Pollard.
I was going to say that you do look like a true athlete.
Yeah, I was going to say, look, Justin hasn't played an NFL snap since then. So
yeah, no, if I can't shake it up for 3 years, no, I have that same virus that Rich has where. You just want to start Gage and you do it and then you feel stupid after he was talking about earlier. So I'm done with that. I'll just let him burn me on my bench. So I agree with you. I think I'm going to go as much as I love Bateman. I'm going to go with Smith here. I absolutely love Bateman. You guys know it, but Smith. Yep.
I'm with Devonta Smith too.
Yeah, but I like Devonta Smith here too, as well. I think, like I said, I mean, what I don't like about Jalen Hurts is what I do like about Devonta Smith, and that's that he'll have to be a pocket presence. I think the guy that's going to be able to get open on that team faster than anybody else. The most skilled wide receiver position on that team is Smith.
So thank you, Fantasy Life app, for letting us know that Josh Allen for the Bills is active today.
Well, he had a lower leg injury or something.
He did. Yep, he was on the fence there for a minute, I think.
Yeah, he came out in an interview last week in a freaking boot.
Yeah.
Okay.
There goes your sarcasm.
Josh Allen will play from a hospital bed if you know
Exactly. That's what I was getting at.
We got Alex ? I think, is this you, Alex? Half PPR, Brandon Cooks or Devontae Parker today?
I think we've all boosted Cooks a little bit, and I mean Parker hasn't been a question yet, but I think there's a reason for that.
I actually like Parker this week with Waddle being out. Parker's going to have he had a pretty decent game coming back last week from his season, being out for this season and everything. I do like Parker. He'll be the number one threat there. I do like him a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm going to go with Cooks, though. I think he's just a much bigger talent than Devontae Parker. And he's, like I said, Davis Mills actually looked all right last week. He's starting to figure it out in his head and know that, big plays not there. Get your check downs, work through your progressions. You can see the wheels starting to turn, and they're playing the Jags. As we all know, they're a dumpster fire, regardless of whether Urban Meyer's the coach or not. Like, I don't think that's going to change that much about them.
Rephrase this. Urban Meyer was a dumpster fire, not the Jags.
Have you watched them play though? Because the players still go out on the field and play the game.
A little bit of both.
I'm going to blame that all on Urban Meyer. Hey, James Robinson is going to have a huge game today. It's going to be all run.
The Jaguars were already a dumpster. He just kind of lit it on fire.
Well, his dumpster fire lit their dumpster fire. It was a contagious point from there on out. So definitely moving on here to the next one. We got DSJ93 says Melvin Gordon, Myles Gaskin, or Devontae Freeman at the flex. Half PPR, guys.
Gordon is playing, so that is my pick.
Yeah, as much as I like Freeman, I think I like Gordon, even though he's splitting touches with Javonte Williams. If Denver can run the ball, they're going to run the ball. And I think that's a good way to keep Burrow and that offense off the field too. So hopefully they're smart about it and, think about that as well. So I'm going to go with Gordon.
Gaskin. I know that's going to get me banned from the show because that's the second time that I've chosen him.
Damn it. I was about to do the same thing and someone did it before me and I brought him back.
Rapid fire release and rebound.
I'm telling you,
I don't mind any Gaskin takes today. I'm with you.
Gaskin,
I like actually Gaskin right here, but I do feel like Melvin Gordon is probably the better play here, just because Myles Gaskin is really good at doing one thing, and that's letting me down. So I feel like Melvin Gordon is my play here as well. Exactly. But I don't mind him. I don't mind Myles Gaskin.
Just as you go and bench Myles Gaskin to this week, he's going to let you down again by going off on your bench.
Right, with a 6.7 because he ran for 67 yards again. No catches. We got Ryan Tuffer says, "Who'd you flex, Javonte Williams or Rashad Penny?" And wow, this is a tough one for me, and I really wouldn't figure it would be. Rich, what are you thinking on this one, bud?
Oh my goodness, this is a tough one. Dang, I'm gonna roll with Javonte Williams, man. I'm sorry to say that. Penny's gonna take a step back. He ain't gonna have a game like he did last week. Javonte Williams is steadily more and more getting more involved, even with Gordon being there. Look, both running backs get 2 touchdowns like they've been doing. One touchdown each, 2 touchdowns each, a fair share, and they get a good amount of their fair share.
Yeah, as much as I love Javonte Williams, I got to run with Rashad Penny here. He's clear and above the better running back in that Seattle backfield. So I think it's just a pure volume play for me at this point, because Javonte is going to split, that backfield work with Melvin Gordon. They've been doing it all year. It's kind of worked out for both of them, but I think I got to go Penny here.
So the Rams and the Bengals statistically are very similar defenses in the way that they run their games and the amount of yards they give up, the amount of points they give up, very, very similar. So I think that Williams is the more talented running back, but I think Penny's going to have more opportunity with less of a split. So I'm going to lean Penny for that reason alone. But I still like Javonte Williams better, but I have to go with Penny for sheer workhorse reasons.
Yeah, and I actually like Penny here too. I wish I could get Javonte Williams out there, but I just can't with Melvin Gordon moving in on there. But I do love me some Penny this week as well. So
You were in a zone up there, man.
I was reading, man. Yeah, I was reading something else right there, and coming back to that, I had to read some notes on something that I was looking at. I thought it was going to be breaking news, but I was actually way off right there. So that's awesome. I was wondering what you guys are laughing at. I'm like, what did I do right there? But now I know.
You snap back into reality. We're like, oh, that's right. We're doing a show.
this is all happening. We got Quinn Conroy says, should I start AJ Green or OBJ this week?
A lot of OBJ questions this week.
Right.
This one's
and AJ Green. It's kind of crazy to see these guys still in the mix out there after all these years.
I think these situations are very similar, really. I think I'm going to go with AJ Green just because of the likelihood of the game being played. Like we talked before, the Rams in my mind, 99% sure they're going to play, 100% sure the Bengals are going to play. So since it's similar to me, not the Bengals, the Cardinals, my bad. Since the game's since these two are very similar to me, I'm going to lean towards the guy I know is definitely going to play.
All right, so breaking news. Still not breaking news, but let me just get it out there. Officially active: James Conner, Chase Edmonds, Tony Pollard, DJ Moore, Zach Ertz, and Rex Burkhead. Inactive: Sanders, which we probably knew, Zach Moss, and Ty Johnson.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go with AJ Green here as well. As you know, I think it's just he's looked pretty goddamn good. This season with the Cardinals. Yeah, and it surprises the hell out of me. But he's definitely looked better than OBJ for more of the season. Yeah, I got to run with AJ Green here. I don't think it's quite that close.
No, I like AJ Green a lot here. It's not like I don't like what I'm seeing out of Odell Beckham Jr. It's just that guy's still always going to be too hit or miss for me to kind of follow. And I feel like AJ Green's really developing into the one on that team with Hopkins out anyways. I mean, obviously Hopkins comes back, that changes everything, but that ain't happening. So for me, it's also Green. At Alianza 94 says PPR league, Taysom Hill at Tampa Bay, Russell Wilson at the Rams.
Taysom.
Yeah, we already kind of had that one.
Yep. Zach Ertz at Detroit, Kyle Pitts at San Francisco.
You know what? With D-Hop out, give me Ertz. I think he's going to be more heavily involved in that passing game.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Ertz too.
Ertz.
And then we got pick 2, James Conner, Ezekiel Elliott, or Antonio Gibson. Who we benching out of those three?
I went first last time.
Yeah, I'm benching Gibson.
Benching Gibson at Philly. What about you, Rich?
It hurts to say this, but I'm benching Gibson.
Yeah, I can get with that. He's not as consistent.
I'll give you, man. I feel like Elliott's the answer here, but I'll lean with you guys, and we will go with Gibson as well.
Well, part of my thinking too is with Heineke out, we don't know what that offense is going to look like.
Right. Devontae Parker or Michael Carter, the KJ007 asks in a PPR league.
I mean, I got to believe that if he's healthy enough to be active and playing, they're going to use him because they don't have enough tools and they're playing for a high draft pick anyway. So if they're actually going to play him, they're going to play him. So give me Michael Carter.
Yeah, with Ty Johnson officially being inactive, I'm going Carter.
Yep, Carter for me too.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm
behind that, although I love me some Devontae Parker with Jalen Waddle out today, I got to go with the volume play. At Mod Grizzly says Edmonds at Detroit, Judy versus Cincinnati, Singletary versus Carolina, McLaurin at Philly, start one in a PPR league.
I think I got to stick with the stud here and go with McLaurin. As much as we don't know what's going to happen, I still think he has the better chance to have some upside. Any upside, because Singletary. That Carolina defense is pretty stout against the run, so that Singletary kind of scares me, and Edmonds coming back from injury, and Judy just that passing offense just isn't doing anything. So I think I got to stick with McLaurin here. I'm not going to overthink it.
Zach Moss is inactive today, and one thing I've noticed with Zach Moss being inactive is Breida really steps up every time Moss isn't in there. So they kind of, in my mind, I wouldn't have thought this at the start of the season, but with Zach Moss out, I think it hurts Singletary even more. So yeah, I'm going to stick with the talent as well and go with McLaurin.
I see, and I if you guys watch me on my DFS show this week, the Dash of DFS, I was saying that the stack that I'm looking for this week and the comeback player I have for this week is Judy. So I'm going to lean Judy versus Cincinnati. I think he has a really good game today. I think Teddy B can find him enough for where we can get a good, consistent day out of him. But outvoted for McLaurin, and I don't mind that play at all. I would be kind of on the fence about either one of these guys, but since I already said it on the Dash of DFS, I'm sticking to my guns still today, and that's I like Judy versus Cincinnati to have a decent comeback game. We got quarter PPR, AJ Green at Detroit without D-Hop, Bateman versus Green Bay, or Dearness Johnson with versus Las Vegas without Hunt. He needs one. What do you say
AJ
here,
Green,
Rick?
AJ Green out of all this.
AJ Green?
Yep, what he said.
And I'm there on AJ Green as well. And I think that question is for you there, buddy, isn't it, Justin?
Yep. So thanks. That's who I have in my lineup right now. I wanted to verify because mostly, honestly, it was more so that Dearness Johnson is very tempting to me because so here's the situation in this league, by the way, since we all know and love Uncle Steve so much. He and I are both. I hope you saw that. He and I are in the shit bowl together. It's 8 teams out of 12 make the playoffs. He and I both did not make the playoffs because that was the league where I had 3 of my top 5 running backs, top 5 draft picks go out before the season even started. But started off 1-5, ended up 7-7, and just missed the playoffs. Had 4 games where I lost by less than 4 points. If any one of them had gone my way, then I would have made it. But anyhow, I digress. The loser of this game has to play next week against the loser of the other shit bowl game. The loser of that game has to wear a dress to the draft next year. Ooh. So I am not in the best physical shape to appear anywhere in a dress. So I'm going to need either to go on a quick diet or I'm going to need to win this game or next week. So so I appreciate the advice there, fellas.
They make dresses for thick girls nowadays. You'll be all right.
No, I already know where I'm going to go. I'm going to go with the coconuts and the grass skirt.
Oh, there you go.
Luau. I'm the commissioner too, so I'll make it a luau themed draft.
The thing is, though, and here's the thing: here's the tricky thing about women in dresses and stuff. So, if you wear a more loose dress, it makes you look bigger and stuff like that. So for you need to wear a tight, like real strict. I mean, and it will make you look thin. I'm just telling you that right now.
That's awesome. All right. So we got Broncos 6th ranked defense versus Cincy or Raiders at Cleveland's COVID squad. Fashion tips from Rich.
All right, go back to the question.
I can do this all week.
And this is also me. This is that same league against Steve. So I know where I'm leaning, but I need some confirmation, fellas.
I got to go with Raiders here. That Cleveland squad's so beat up. I'm going to pick on them. I think like an alligator in Florida, I smell blood. I'm going to attack the weak, dead object that's floating in the water, which is the Cleveland Browns defense team.
Yep.
It's a must win for the Raiders. They got to win out and they even have a chance. So hopefully they step their game up, and I'm going Raiders.
So, Rich, I honestly haven't paid enough attention to that defense since and I'm not trying to rub salt in the wound there, but they really are not that good of a defense statistically for fantasy purposes. But since Gruden has left, have they improved enough to make me think that they got a shot?
Here's the thing. So, because of this game, their defense is worse than their passing game. So they are playing against Chubb and everything, and I think Chubb's going to have a huge game, but I think that's the only play that they're going to have because I think Landry's going to be out. Look.
That's all. That's it. That's all that. Landry and Hunt and Baker. Like nobody big.
Yeah, nobody big and everything, but you still got Chubb. They're going to lean heavy on him and everything, and that's the Raiders' worst aspect of their defense is the run game. So if Raiders decide to make it a run game and everything, then I hate it for the Raiders. But if they end up passing it out and getting a big, they're going to have to go away from Chubb, and brings in Ernest a little bit more of a better play and everything. But I just think the Raiders are going to show up defense and offenses today.
Fair enough.
Okay.
What are you doing over there, Mike?
Nothing.
I don't know, but I
was playing with the tinsel over here. We already started CEH to make sure we had a player that is actually playing. Need to Zeke, Amari, Higgins, half PPR. Who we playing today, guys? Half PPR.
For me, it's Zeke and Higgins, and I don't think it's that close.
What do you say,
going
Rich?
Zeke and Higgins here too. I feel like Amari's a fade for me, although I am starting him in DFS. I do feel like he has himself a decent game against the Giants. But I've got to play volume here. It's Zeke and Higgins for me.
Yeah, same. I hate as much as I do. I hate starting two players off the same team when you have other options. Right now, I think Higgins is going to have a better game. They just have more options, so it kind of gives him a little bit more open play.
Cool. All right, thanks, guys. That one was for me.
Oh, there you go. Full PPR. One must be a wide receiver, but we need 3 total. DJ Moore, James Robinson, Bateman, Devonta Freeman, Hilliard, Pollard, or David Johnson.
All right, I'll start talking this one out. So I'm definitely starting James Robinson. So that's one of them for me. I like Devonta Freeman. So now I need
to be a wide receiver.
So I think I'm gonna go Bateman because we've already faded DJ Moore. I don't think that's a good play today. I think Bateman, they're gonna have to throw the ball to keep up with the Packers. So regardless of who their quarterback is, so it's gonna be James Robinson, Bateman, and Devonta Freeman for me.
I'm going with Robinson, Freeman, and Mooney for me, but it's close between him and Bateman. It's right on the fence.
Same here because of the fact I don't want to have Devonta Freeman and I don't want Bateman and Devonta Freeman in that game.
That's exactly my thoughts on that. That's exactly what I was thinking there as well. We got our buddy Nate talking in. He says Dawson's Creek or DJ Moore.
Who is this Nate Wallen guy?
Who is this Nate guy? He's in here every now and again.
Yeah. I don't like his last name. I don't like it.
Wallen.
Makes me think of a wall, but
Waylon? Is it Waylon?
Like Waylon.
I'm gonna go with Dawson Knox here.
Pauline.
It's crazy how low I am on DJ Moore. I'm playing Knox here too. Yep, same here.
I'm going DJ Moore. Sorry to be after saying all this and stuff like that. I had to go DJ Moore over Knox on this question.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards DJ Moore too, which doesn't help Nate at all. So I'm kind of okay with that. But I will say this, Nate. I feel like Mike and Alex were more confident in their choice of Knox than I was of DJ Moore. So I think that might be a good tiebreaker for you.
I think it's high touchdown potential for sure for Knox. I don't feel like Moore will smell the end zone for a very, very long time, at least in this matchup for sure. We got Gallup, Ayuk, or James Robinson. Pick one for flex for our man Jay.
Robinson.
Yep.
Yep, Robinson, hands down. That's all of us.
I think
we got Andrew McGrady says Ayuk or Mooney today, PPR.
Ayuk.
Yeah. That's like full on Hadouken for you for Ayukin. I agree. I think Ayuk is actually the play here. I do like him on the opposite side of Debo. I think both of those. I think there's just plenty enough volume for both of those guys to get done this week. We got another question. Josh Allen versus Carolina, Kyler Murray at Detroit, Matthew Stafford versus Seattle. We got to pick 2 here, so we're in a super flex. How dare you? For starters, sir, how dare you ask a question like this with Josh Allen? You should say, hey, I'm starting Josh Allen.
Yeah,
I
but
need a super flex. Kyler Murray or Matthew Stafford.
weren't you all talking earlier about how Josh Allen had a boot or something? I don't know.
Yes, but you didn't know that. So, I mean, that makes it even more inexcusable for you.
But what I did know is that I also have Kyler Murray and Matthew Stafford.
Fair enough. That's a good problem to have. I can't sit Kyler Murray. Matt Stafford, although it's tough, I'm sitting him in this.
Yep. Sitting Stafford.
Yep.
I like that problem, though. Full PPR, Amari Cooper at New York or Chuba Hubbard versus Buffalo or at Buffalo?
Ooh, this one's tough.
I'm going Hubbard. Although you said Hubbard.
Chuba Hubbard. I like
Hubbard.
Hubbard. Chuba
Yeah.
Hubbard.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say, I'm actually leaning Amari Cooper against that Giants defense. They can be exploited in the air, and so I feel like Amari Cooper is going to be the guy to do that.
Yeah, I'm with you on. I think I'm with Amari Cooper too.
I don't like the Carolina negative matchup against Buffalo. I think they're going to be playing from behind most of that game. I don't think Hubbard's going to be very involved on that at all.
He could catch the ball out of the backfield, so that's the reason. Even if it's a negative script and stuff, he'll be involved.
Well,
Yeah, like I said, I just haven't liked what I've seen out of him this season. We got Steel City, PA. He says Devontae Parker or Josh Jacobs.
Josh
Did we
Jacobs.
even ask this question for me?
Right. Yep. Nope. We got Josh Jacobs as a landslide here, just because we're gonna go with that volume. Although we love ourselves some Parker today, it's Justin in the sundress would be awesome. I completely agree.
If it's only tight sundress shirt.
I feel like he should have to wear that for the Christmas episode that's coming up, the special holiday episode.
I've got
Justin
something for
Monday.
you guys on that one. I got something for you.
There you go.
Rich,
I love it.
Yeah, Rich, are you going to be in that?
In what?
The holiday, the movie draft tomorrow night.
It depends, because I told my wife I would not take her Christmas shopping today because it's football day. So that means I got to take her tomorrow. So it depends on what time I get back.
Okay, so I'll pencil you in as a maybe, but I'm gonna spin the wheel for the draft order at 8:00, 7 your time. All right,
there you go. We got Frankenstank, Fields versus Minnesota, Jimmy G versus Atlanta, or Hurts versus Washington. We got to pick two again here, and yikes, that's all I have to say about that. I think I'm sitting Hurts here. Where are we sitting, Alex? Rich?
Yep, I'm sitting Hurts too, and that's just because, like we said earlier, I don't think he's a pocket quarterback, and he's going to have to stay in the pocket with that high ankle sprain. So I'd rather shoot for the upside with Fields and the floor with Jimmy G.
How all right, is he 100%? Do we know if Hurts is 100%?
He's not. He is not 100%.
Okay, then I'm going Fields and Jimmy.
He is.
If it wasn't that, I'd be going Hurts. Hurts has helped outproduce Fields this whole season. I wouldn't change anything about that, but because he's hurt, that's the only reason why I'm picking Fields. Yeah,
no, if Hurts was healthy and didn't have that high ankle sprain, but that's a huge detriment to his legs.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all his fantasy value was coming from. So
for the record, I do know
this question reminds me of a time back, when you used to throw pickles at windows and see which pickle would slide down the fastest. Yeah, see, you guys didn't grow up.
Oh, you mean sliced pickles? I thought you were talking about full blown pickles.
Yeah, no, little slices of pickles, and you'd slap them at the window and see which one races down the end.
Like
of it.
in Billy Madison, they do that.
Exactly. But instead of pickles, you use poo.
Did you have like 12 people in your town with absolutely nothing else to do?
Something like that. Yeah, it was very small. I mean, it's Wyoming, man. There's only 500,000 people in the whole entire giant state. So
he went from Wyoming to Florida.
Yes, sir.
This Frankenstein question. I understand that I am in the Constipation League or the Constipation playoffs. Yeah, the Constellation play, whatever it is. But I'm still doing all I can to try to win that.
There you go. Hey, that's what it's all about right there. You don't want to end up dead last ever on anything. So we got full PPR. Tony Pollard at New York, Dearness Johnson versus Las Vegas in a league where their number 1 seed projected to lose by 30. And then number 8, thanks to Pittman and Wentz. We need points, guys. Who we playing?
Do I have to answer?
Yep, you have to play one of these guys, and for me, it's Tony Pollard, and it's close, it's gross, but I'm going with Pollard here. I think if he's on the field, I am kind of
Yeah.
with playing him out there over Dearness Johnson.
Yeah.
I think Chubb's going to feast. I don't think Dearness Johnson, he'll get some volume, but I don't think it's going to be enough to where what we see out of Pollard.
Man, this is so freaking tough because of Pollard's injury. It's a foot injury and a serious foot injury. And the fact that he's even in the game really kind of blows me away, to be honest with you.
They did say earlier that he's looking to get potentially 24 snaps. So about 24 snaps is what that's got to be pretty close to what he already gets. You know what I mean?
Heck, nowadays and everything, they freaking shoot that up with so much damn pain medicine. He won't feel it till after the game and everything. So let's go Tony Pollard.
Yeah, I think I'd have to roll with Tony Pollard too.
All right, I'll switch it.
Dearness Johnson is not Kareem Hunt. That's for sure. So
that's a fact right there. He's serviceable when he's the only guy out there, but he's the type of guy I feel like you need to give a lot of volume to produce.
When Kareem Hunt and Chubb are out, he was Kareem Hunt.
Hey, I put this on the screen because if you guys come and check out Dollar to Deuces every Wednesday, this was one of my player props. 100% this is happening.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
I like that combo. Yeah, that's a pretty easy one. A really pretty easy smash slam dunk. Let's get that done. Get that money out there before it's too late. Guys, that catches up with all of our questions there. So we're gonna go ahead and move on about our day. Make sure you join us next week for more fashion tips from Rich. Just kidding. Make sure you definitely get on Monday night, guys. Get on there with Justin the Christmas episode. The best Christmas movies in the order. We're going to be drafting these bad boys, and I'm definitely going to be there. I know Alex is thinking about making it. I know our man Rich is thinking about being there. So you guys aren't going to want to miss that. You're going to want to get on toiletstotitles.com. There's awesome interviews. There's all kinds of cool stuff on there, guys. Articles, everything you want to get down on. And make sure you follow us on Apple Podcast, YouTube, Facebook, all that good stuff. And join our Patreon, guys. It's less than a cup of coffee every day, or every week, every month, whatever. I mean, if we're talking $3, if you buy a cup of coffee like me, it's like $8 for that crap. So definitely almost at the most elite tier that you can get at Toilets and Titles just by jumping in there. Yeah, exactly. That cursed place right there.
Do you like the green screen on your coffee?
Yeah, I know. It's actually cool.
That looks awesome. It looks like we should also be sponsored by Starbucks. So I want a letter in the mail to them too. But everybody make sure you join us next week. I just hope to God you guys win it this week and get it done. And let's get this done. Let's get those titles and let's win and let's do it the right way. Let's get it done, guys. Let's